Intellectual rumble. It is time for another episode of Tales of Arise. There we go. Here we go. Almost forgot the controls there for a moment.
Just one thing after another, and it all falls on my head to... Hey. What? Can't you see I'm... Alphen?
Looks like you have your hands full.
As much as ever. As if I wasn't busy enough putting down the last remnants of Renan rule and in disputes. And then, to top it all off, that thing had to come crashing down from out of the sky.
Pretty sure we've heard this somewhere before.
But enough about my problems. What can I help you with?
Yeah, we're looking for an old Renan starship. You wouldn't happen to know any around these parts, would you?
A starship? What do you need one of those for?
To get to Lenegis.
Lenegis? Are you out of your damn mind?
Believe it or not, it wouldn't be the craziest thing we've done recently.
Oh, I believe it. Well, either way, I'm afraid I haven't heard anything about a starship.
Then do you have any historical records by chance?
Sure, we've got stacks of old records.
Mind if we take a look at them?
Yeah, okay.
Thanks, Nath.
I read through all of the records, but I only found a single line that might point to what we're looking for. It mentions a rock that shot across the sky and landed past the mountains. The event was recorded just before the first Renan invasion.
And you think that might be the starship?
I don't know. There was nothing else in the records that came even close. It looked like it was someplace called Berg, but maybe I'm reading it wrong.
Berg?
That ring any bells for you?
Yeah, that's one of the biggest volcanoes in Calaglia. I was just there recently, investigating a report of a meteor someone saw.
Another meteor in the same area? Really?
I wonder if it could have been one of those lights that shot out of the wedge.
All the more reason to check it out. Can you tell us how to get there?
The old Zion mine is up that way. One of the veins we abandoned connects to the volcano. Go ahead and use that. But you should be careful.
Huh?
I don't know if it has anything to do with the meteor. There's a giant Zoogle running riot in there. Never seen anything like it.
A Zoogle, huh?
Well, I turned back as soon as I caught sight of the thing, so I can't tell you much more. Just be real careful if you head out that way.
Nate, are you ready yet or what? Oh, I didn't notice you there, Blazing Sword. And I see. You're Law, aren't you? Surface Kid. Damn, when did you get so tall? I believe a little pipsqueak like you is running around with Blazing Sword himself. I'm sure you owe me all
right.
sad. Go on ahead. Without me, I'll catch up later. You got it, boss. See you around, Law. Don't work too hard now. You know that guy?
I guess...
Yes, I do. And if I met the guy before last time, I would have seen him. Would have been when I was real little. You could have at least said hello back to me. The reason my dad's gone, remember? You know how much they looked up to him and up to him here. Oh, now we're getting this sidetracked. Let's just head out. Hey, is Law doing okay? Not really. Sever's death is still weighing on him pretty hard. Didn't stay up late, remember? Even if it's not his fault, it's a big thing to have to carry at his age.
I didn't like the sound of that monster, Nathan.
Everything okay with Hootle, Rinwell? He seems kinda out of spirits.
It must be the heat getting to him. We don't get these kind of temperatures back in Cislodia.
Galaglians born and raised here struggle with it too, so it's no surprise.
Aha! So that's why his plumage is so white. He was born in a winter wonderland.
Actually, the astral energy of whatever land they're raised in. Where they're born doesn't affect their appearance at all. But that's not why he's white. The real reason is that he's still just a baby.
You mean their plumage changes color depending on where they grow up? Weird.
And with all this traveling we've been doing, it wouldn't surprise me if his wings ended up looking like a colorful painting.
I think he suits his snowy complexion. It'll feel strange to see him change.
How awesome would it be if his head and wings were different colors? And his stomach and sides, like a map of our travels! Ow, lay off, will ya? So much for the heat making him docile!
You've only yourself to blame for that one. Hootle takes pride in his appearance, you know.
Fascinating. An appreciation of aesthetic beauty in an owlet so young.
Dohalim, I think you've drawn his attention.
Let's fast travel closer.
Looks like we made it here in one piece. You can never be too prepared. But did we have to spend so much?
It's quite hot here. The climate feels different from Menancia's.
It's gotten much cooler since
I won't forgive you!
Severing wind!
Nice. No scratches on my shield or my armor.
Already got that one.
Something feels odd here. Be on your guard.
So we're back in the Zion Mine tunnels. Who would have thought we'd be going through this place again? This is where you and I first fought together.
And also the first time we touched, as I recall.
Wait, really?
Yes, really.
So this path is supposed to take us out to Berg Volcano?
We're not gonna see any lava burst out in front of us or anything, are we?
Don't get so paranoid you let a rock fall on your head, Law. Ugh, so hot.
Well, yeah. We've reached the inner portion of Berg Volcano.
We need to find that starship. And fast! Hi, Hoodle!
The flame inside me yearns to be let free!
Look here!
Wind!
Air squall!
Wind! I'll take you all on!
If it cools up, time to get out of the way.
Start up!
Here's a healing arc!
Rising
First
Phoenix!
aid! Dance in the wind! You go!
I'll stop its charge!
Thanks, Kisara!
Its armor's too strong!
Split it open!
Be my guest! Soaring light spear!
No further!
Healing circle!
Rising
What would I
Phoenix!
do without you?
Severing wind!
Now!
I don't know what I'd do without you. In an instant! Impact clock! We work well together.
Like a finely timed waltz.
One more!
Severing wind! You're mine! It's over!
Don't mind if I do!
Take it!
Power of...
Severing wind!
Do it!
Air pressure!
Thunder
Wind!
field! Hard
Searing
travel!
gale!
Arcane turbo!
I can clear my
Through armor!
field!
I'm ready!
Get out of there with astral energy!
Say no more!
We can really make weapons with this?
You got company! I'll heal you all!
Severing wing! Heal! It's time!
Healing circle!
Take this! Ignite!
Thanks so much! Water!
Wind!
Here,
Oh,
it's a
Vital.
duel of the arc!
Be careful not to overdo it.
I'm sorry. Got fire!
Leave the enemy's arc! Let me
I'm ready!
No place.
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Lightning condemned!
Dragon form!
I can do this all
Try this!
Anything in armor is all mine! Hear my call! I never miss!
Dragon form! Try this!
Do it!
Kisara! Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone!
Could have been worse.
Come one, come all!
A wall to shield
Dragon
from calamity. A new melody.
Healing circle!
Resonate with
Thank
you.
you so much! I owe you, Sion.
Healing is what my arts do best.
All mine can do is cause havoc and destruction. The flashing parts are weak points.
No armor can stop me.
Remind me to stay on your good side.
Dragon form!
Heal my weary
Try
companion.
this!
Radiant light!
Dragon
I'm
form!
ready.
Raging storm!
Blew away! Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
Hear me!
Take
Flame of
this.
fury! Burning strike! Illuminate the
form.
piercing
This one keeps
mine!
charging us!
That's what my shield's for. Get behind me.
Got it!
Now!
I'll leave it to you!
Astral energy!
Say no more! Got it!
I'll heal
Well
you
done.
all!
Dragon form!
Illuminate the dark! Come forth!
Now I can let loose!
Looks like you came to my rescue again.
You need to be careful.
Look sharp!
Lightning Tiger Blade.
The heavens must be smiling.
Hey, new equipment!
You can make plants grow instantly? What if we use this for fruits and vegetables?
I'd rather not be our party's fertilizer. Thank you very much.
Out of our way!
Dragon form!
Ready and raring.
Try this!
Reload!
Elusive
Wherever
being!
you are! Do it! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Raging
Ready to go.
First aid!
I tried this! You picked the wrong
The
fight!
airborne
Get on
scoundrel.
board. Sounds like a job for yours truly.
Try this!
You're really, really strong, Alvin.
I'm just trying to do the best I can.
Still, it's reassuring to have you around.
This should make for some good weapon crafting material.
Coming through.
Dragon form!
I shall ensure you survive this.
Explosive ring!
Wind astral energy! Their hide is thick as armor. Lunar
Dragon
corruption!
form!
Lunar blast!
Armor flying. I'm ready. What can they touch it?
Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone.
Air thrust! Both healing field!
All back in there to defend.
Glad you have your uses.
Try this!
Primed and
I'll
ready.
show you how
Thanks
useful
so
I
much.
can be.
Lightning orb! I never miss. Photon blast! Lightning
I'm ready!
again.
River!
Astral energy!
Say no more! Really got us on the ropes.
Don't forget to heal your wounds.
My face is starting to sting, and my throat feels super parched.
Here, have some water. Just make sure you don't drink too much.
Thanks.
You want some too, Shion? Oh, wait. I bet you're hungry more than anything, aren't you?
I'm fine, thank you very much.
Can't get out of this!
Illuminate the dark!
Explosive ray!
Light.
Are those rocks its skin?
I can't hold on much longer!
Go for the weak point! Here's a healing arc!
Explosive ray!
Okay, here I go.
Charge like that could easily be fatal.
Just as well, I'm here to stop. This ends now!
Consider yourself safe.
What is it, Hoodle? You want to go back?
Animal intuition, perhaps?
That was quick.
No choice. Dragon form!
I can carve through armor!
Can you take it?
Explosive ray!
Spear! Pierce evil!
Dragon form! Dragon form! An astral arch?
That's my cue!
Dragon! Shut him down! No! Can't end here! I couldn't make it in time.
Sweet dreams! Confiscate!
Glacial spear! Pierce evil!
Ready to go! Undead waterfall!
Scream.
Dance in the
Where
wind!
do you going?
Air thrust! Light astral energy!
You attack without mercy.
Because I can't afford to hesitate.
Not against a worthy opponent.
You fight better at a distance.
The further away, the better.
You and I both.
Lightning
Freezing storm!
Illuminate the dark! Holy lamp!
Yours are not the skills of just any warrior.
Save your compliments. We have to move.
Driven and talented.
Reiki Mega Ray!
A scream bathed in blood.
Rending you a
Lightning
bloody
orb! Lightning! Hear me! Flame of Fury! Burning strike!
Water! Here, ready to go!
Spread!
Resonate with the earth!
Wind astral energy!
Take this!
Raging cascade!
Rending you apart!
Spread!
Damn it. Man down.
Nothing I can't fix.
Right, here goes! Dragon form!
Here!
Elusive deity! Dragon form! Tornado armor won't save you! Dance on the wind!
And the flashing part's their weak point.
The enemy wields arts too.
You'll soon see about that.
Explosive ring!
I'm all stuffed up.
Come no further! Dragon form! The flame inside me yearns to be let free! Dragon form! Thanks!
Here goes! Illuminate the dark!
Explosive ring! It's wide open!
It won't escape
Dragon
me.
form!
Anything in order.
We've turned the tables on them.
There are still more left.
Right. No time to hold back.
Hold on to your
Soaring
arms.
light
Here I
spear!
come. Glacial spear.
Mirage!
Here's the evil.
Dragon form!
Here goes. Confiscated. Lightning condemned.
Explosive ring!
Will this work? Illuminate magic is them. Holy Lord.
Dragon form! Try this!
Mega ray. Thanks.
Explosive ring!
Dance in the wind!
There.
In here!
Dragon form!
This will come in handy. Illuminate the Here's a healing art!
Explosive ring!
Glimmer! First aid! Holy lamp! Where are you going? I can do this
Anything in
all day!
armor is all mine!
Well, am I improving?
Tremendously. The speed and precision of your aim is simply unmatched.
I had no idea you were watching me so closely.
Coming through.
Dragon form! Ignite! Dragon form!
I can
carve through armor!
Do it!
We did it!
As impressive as always.
And here I hope that was easy.
In a
No,
bind!
I mean, you're even better than ever.
I've never seen Shion actually look flustered.
Denied!
Glacial spear. Here's the evil. Light astral energy. Banana, let's go! Let the marksman handle this.
Catapult! I'll grind you into dust! Captivity! I'm ready! Commander of Heaven! Phoenix Cyclone!
Lady Fortune must truly be watching over me.
Let's dispose of the trash.
Here goes!
Can you take it?
Not today!
Raging storm!
Dragon form!
Deity!
Burn!
Blown flight!
Rotating pile
Here I
driver!
go!
Dragon
Exterminate
form!
render!
Elusive deity!
Try this!
Annihilation!
Do it! Rotating pile driver!
Astral energy!
Say no more.
Got!
Well done! Fury!
My concentration is dwindling. Perhaps I'm tired.
Hey, you finally made it.
It's crazy to see rocks melt before our eyes.
Watch where you're going, everyone. If you fall, there will be nothing left of you.
Exactly. So don't try anything Funny. Especially you, Law. No pushing anyone, not even as a joke.
I'm not a little kid!
No. All right.
Simply marvelous.
Good. This came out just the way I hoped.
God of War Ragnarok. That will be after we finish God of War 3.
Rinwell, mind if we chat
And
a little?
then God of War 2018.
What's
Speaking
wrong?
of God of War
You're
Ragnarok,
looking pretty
though,
down. Something on your mind?
Yeah, you could say that. It's just, well, there's something that's been eating away at me for a long, long time. Do
yeah,
you mind if
I
I
don't know
share
what
it
else
with
to
you?
call it, honestly.
Of course not.
I could call
I'm
it
glad
God
to
of War
listen.
4, but
See,
they
my
didn't
mom
really
and
add a
dad
name
used to
to
tell
it
me I shouldn't go around casting
or a
magic,
number.
but there was one time I did, behind their backs. And when I did,
Yeah,
Almadria showed up. I hated Almadria for destroying everything I loved. But what I hated most was
you
myself.
like my hammer?
For breaking my promise to my parents. Even though I swore I'd get revenge, there was always this nagging part of me that wondered if I even had any right to do so.
Rinwell, it was Almadria who killed your family. Don't torment yourself over one mistake.
How can you say that when my mother and father died because of me?
This may not comfort you much, but I'll say it anyway. I have a feeling your parents always knew something like that might happen.
It's heavy, though. It is,
What
really.
do you mean?
There was always a chance that someday, someone was going to find you and your family. But even knowing the risks, they
Besides,
still
you want
taught
to
you
talk
magic.
small.
And there are two reasons I can think of for that. First, your talent. Second,
That's
they
my
were
other
hedging their
hammer.
bets.
Huh?
No,
On what?
I'm thinking about getting it, though.
On you, Rinwell. On how you turn out when you grew up.
Got my treasure chest of the king
Sure,
right
learning
here.
magic may invite danger, but it would have been even more dangerous to live in hiding without being able to defend yourself. They knew what they were getting themselves into when they taught you magic. And I think they did it because of how much they loved you.
Because my mother and father loved me.
Sorry, I know I shouldn't be putting words into your parents' mouths.
No, it's okay. I
I
used to
figured
think I
out
would have
the
been better off
issue
if I
for
never knew how to
K3,
use
by the way.
magic. And if I'm really honest with myself, sometimes I still think that.
But because the
But after
sound
traveling around with all of you
fades in and
guys,
out for some
I've
reason from
learned that
my
there are things I can
AV
do with
to
magic.
HDMI converter,
That there's a point to it after all. So I'm
I
going to keep
ordered a new
trying.
one, so
I'm gonna try and accept it as part of
hopefully
who
you
I
guys will
am.
be getting Ty
I
3
want to
soon
use
enough.
it to protect my
But,
friends. To
however,
protect the future of
Ty
Dana.
3 is dirty, so
Do-
I'm gonna have to
Do
order
you
a
think that's
new
selfish of
copy,
me?
a brand new copy.
Not at all. I wouldn't want it any other way with you, Rinwell.
I'm also gonna see
Poodle,
if it's
let me
available
know if you sense anything.
on PS3, like the store. So, because if
I want
it
to go
is,
back to bed.
I could do that like I'm doing with the Gex series. So, who knows? So far, anyway.
Finally made it.
Okay. Let's go forward here. Try to avoid these first ones. Over here.
Guess I misread the letter.
Retreat if you know what's good for you.
Don't mind if I do. Annihilation!
Begin! Explosive release of deity!
Burning
Hitting
strike!
clouds,
I
right
don't
handle
fear. Here's the evil.
Dragon
They're
Swarm!
surrounding us.
You've got fires!
I've got this. Let a marksman
Is that a
handle it.
healing arm?
It is.
All
I
yours!
can't ignore your pain.
You
The
picked the
enemy
wrong
wields
fight!
armor too.
You'll soon see about that.
Thank you! Dragon Swarm!
This one's mine.
Try this!
I never miss. Do it.
We did it!
As impressive as always.
Here I hope there was improvement.
No, I mean, you're even better than ever.
I've never seen Sion
I can't
actually
get out of
look
bed.
flustered. Illuminate the dark.
Dragon Swarm!
Holy
Heal my weary companion!
Require complete focus.
Benediction delight.
Next! Heal! I owe you one!
Illuminate the dark. Come
Try
forth,
this.
holy glimmer.
Explosive
Holy ray
ray!
of the shadows. Mega ray.
I could do
In the
without you.
sky,
Thanks.
it's mine.
Heal!
I never miss. Arcane waterfall. Radiant flood here.
Severing wind!
Here's a healing art. The woman in your dreams.
Now I can let loose!
Oh, violent. Blah, 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 magic.
Soaring light
In
spear!
here. Searing flame.
I'm ready! Negative gate! Didn't even break a sweat.
This bridge will hold itself together, right?
Most definitely. Though I won't make any promises.
I kind of wish you would.
Which one is it?
I didn't know you had that sort of trick up your sleeve, Dohalim. I would have figured rocks and plants would be too different for you to handle both.
There we go.
Not necessarily.
But yeah, I want to get the axe. Yeah, this must be where you saw that Gizugo. Big open area, boss battle. Yep.
What the hell is that thing?
Probably that monster Nath warned us about, if I had to guess.
Do you think this might have been where one of those lights that shot out of the wedge landed?
But why this location? If the purpose of the wedge is to harvest Dana's astral energy.
We can figure that out later. If that thing gets into town, it's going to cause chaos. We need to take it down and move on. Let's go!
Oh crap.
This one's tough, but we have no choice.
Let me know if you need healing.
Here it comes! Focus!
On your toes, everyone!
Suddenly turning tail doesn't seem so ridiculous.
Why? Are you scared?
Me? Are you?
Do you even have to ask? Of course I'm scared!
Focus up before we become that thing's lunch.
It's summoning Zoogles?
Take care of them while keeping an eye on it.
Let's get you all tucked away.
This one keeps charging us!
That's what my shield's for. Get behind me!
Got it! I'll leave it to you! Explosive ring!
I never miss! The water
Dragon
Water!
Try this!
Take this!
Explosive ring!
Here's evil!
Severing wing! Can't move!
Forgive me.
Here's a
This is my fault.
Illuminate the
Severing wing!
Holy
Captivity!
Holy land!
Rising Phoenix!
Tempest Whirl!
Take it!
Reload!
Here,
Let me help. There you go! Don't let up! Gale Force! Dance in the wind!
Rising Phoenix!
Light Astro! Magic! Holy land!
This should do it!
This requires complete healing!
Dragon Swarm!
Elusive deity!
Back into
Try
the
this.
fray! Illuminate
I can carve through armor!
Lightning! Downfall!
I'm out of ammo.
Dragon Swarm! Try this!
Let me help.
It's on! Explosive ring! Burn!
Terminate Render!
Dragon Swarm!
Resonate with
Here
the earth!
goes! What? Don't mind if I do!
On your... Now or never. In a bind?
Lightning
let me help.
raging cascades!
Benediction light.
There! Dance in the wind!
I couldn't make it in time.
Searing Gale!
From
I'll
beyond.
be saving!
Can't lose soul.
It's wide open!
It won't escape me.
Illuminate the dark!
Searing Gale!
Holy river!
It's what real pain feels like?
A freezing storm!
It would appear I attract too much attention.
Explosive ring!
Let's get you all tucked away!
Glacial
Take
spear.
this!
Here's
I'm not
evil!
done!
Tempest Whirl!
Now, while it's reeling!
Take it down.
Lightning
Dragon
orb!
Swarm!
One in his eye! Healing circle!
Dragon Swarm! Try this!
Where are you going?
It's on!
Here's a healing
Dragon
arc!
Swarm!
Birthday!
Looks like you came to my rescue again.
Now!
You need to be careful.
Kisara! Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone! Here, let me help.
Soaring Light Okay,
Do it!
here I go.
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished.
Benediction light.
I owe you one.
Here come more!
You'll just have to keep fighting.
That's my cue!
Shut him down.
With the earth.
Rising Phoenix! You're mine! Severing Wind! Searing Gale! Dragon Swarm! No further! Thanks! I can do without this pain!
Dragon
Is this what real pain feels like? This should do it!
Resonate with the earth.
Dragon Swarm!
Now!
Try this! In an instant! Impact Clock! We work well together.
Like a finely timed waltz.
Dragon Swarm!
They're all too after me! Frozen!
Hammer!
Here, let me help!
I owe you one. Any more of this and I'll burn out.
Reinforcements incoming!
Not a problem! Dance in the wind!
Stop!
This one's mine!
The everlasting darkness.
This one's all mine! Stardust!
My turn.
Rising Phoenix!
Amazing.
Wind!
A scream bathed in
Searing
blood.
Gale!
Rending you apart.
Take this!
Bloody howling.
You picked the wrong fight!
On your
Stardust! Rising
thrilling
Phoenix!
performance.
No more playing nice!
Great! I owe you one. Dragon Swarm!
Resonate with the earth.
Won't save you!
Dragon Swarm!
Take this.
It's time to finish this! Die! Consuming wildfire!
Glacial spear, pierce evil!
Dragon Swarm!
Scream.
Dragon Swarm!
Coming through!
Bloody howling. On your knees.
Explosive Ring!
The fluidity of your movement is simply incredible.
Dragon Swarm! Try this!
Our arts are being interrupted.
It's weakened!
Dragon Swarm! This ends now!
Now! Frozen!
Hammer!
I can feel the medicine back into the fray!
Won't save you!
Magna
We
Ray!
did it!
As impressive as always.
Here I hope there was improvement.
No, I mean, you're even better than ever. I've never seen Xion actually look flustered.
Dragon Swarm! I'm ready! Still!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Hear me, flame of fury!
Dragon Swarm!
Elusive
Where
deity.
are you going? Breaking storm!
You picked the wrong fight! We did it!
I can feel the medicine working.
Dragon Swarm!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished! This should do it!
It's about to strike!
Look sharp, everyone!
Everyone all right?
We won't surrender. We won't retreat. Not yet.
Whatever you do, just please stay safe.
Take this! How are we supposed to take on something so big?
I'll handle it. Just watch and learn. That's enough! Go back down!
Nice. Got it. I had a feeling that was something.
Everyone
like
okay?
that. There was something
Yeah,
like that gonna
I think
happen.
so.
That thing scared the pants off me.
It felt like it had a different aura than other Zeugles, didn't it?
Yeah. It wasn't like the one that Almadria sicked on us either.
Its elemental astral energy variance was out of this world. It was like fighting a lord.
I guess it's safe to assume that if it came out of the wedge, it must have played some part in helping harvest astral energy. But what?
Perhaps a living spirit vessel? It's plausible, given the location. Or it may be part of a new force dispatched to regain control of Dana.
If we assume that monster was one of the 4 beams of light, we must have prevented something from taking place here.
I'd like to think so, knowing how much grief it gave us. But at least with that out of the way, we can keep moving forward now. Let's go.
Yep.
I feel stronger. I mean, a bit.
Good. We're counting on you, Rinwell.
On me? Well, I'll do my best.
Yeah, Crisis Core, though, will be part of the Final Fantasy series.
Hey, is that it over there?
Did we really just spend that much money?
Alphen?
Something?
No, but I have seen this starship before. This is it. This is the ship I traveled in when I escaped from Lenegis.
Three centuries later, and it's no worse for wear. I'll take a look at the internals.
Damn! I'm amazed it still works at all after all this time.
The past meets the present. I really am from a different time and place.
Yeah, but you've got us now, Alphen.
Not only that, but you've helped out so many people, too.
Law's right. Rinwell too. You're one of us now. No more carrying the weight of history on your shoulders. You're a part of this world.
Right. Thanks, you guys.
How's it look?
It should fly. All internal systems seem to be operating. However, considering how long it's remained inactive, I suspect it will take some time before it's ready for takeoff.
How much time are we talking here?
Starship mechanics are not what I'd call my forte, so I'd rather not hazard a guess.
So we've just got to sit around here and wait? I'm terrible at waiting.
That's because you're a child. Oh, but how about we use this time to prepare and gather supplies for the trip?
Good idea. Who knows when we'll be back from Lenegis once we leave? We should prepare ourselves for every possible scenario before we go.
Let's try not to stay away too long. I'd hate for anything to happen to the place while we're gone.
Either we race ahead, or we take due precaution to ensure we have no regrets. I shall leave it up to you as to how we proceed, Alphen.
Works for me.
It's funny, isn't it?
What is?
All this. When we first started this thing, did you ever imagine we'd be going to Lenegis? After all, this is the sort of thing I was rebelling against when I ran away from home, right?
I'm sure Zephyr would be proud if he knew what his son was doing right now.
And a little shocked, too.
We're defying the order of things that have persisted for 300 years. Deep down, I knew our journey would lead to confronting Lenegis.
Yeah, you maybe, but you're a Renan. The rest of us can barely even picture what it means to leave Dana.
No offense to Shion and Dohalim, but it's worth remembering we're heading into enemy territory.
No offense taken, and this is no picnic for me either.
Remember, our aim is to ensure that both Lenegis and the Renan homeworld leave Dana alone for good. I don't think we'll be able to avoid a fight.
Is there no way we can talk them into leaving us alone?
The people of Lenegis?
Sure. I mean, we found a way to make it work with Shion and Dohalim, right? And it's not just us. If places like Menancia can do it, then why can't we?
Because there are still many of my kind who believe it was right and natural that Rena reigns over Dana. There are those on Lenegis who have never stepped foot on Dana. I doubt whether they'd even listen to Danans.
Look, none of us want to fight. But these are the same people who fired that wedge down on Dana. What happens next is on them.
Right. We're not going to sit back and wait for them to oppress us again.
Right.
Don't forget, there's also a good chance the Red Woman is somewhere on Lenegis. And wherever she is, we should find the Renaissance too.
That's right. If we can take it back, then Shion can finally get rid of her thorns. Shion?
Huh? Yeah.
Where? Shion? Where'd Shion go? How could she just go off on her own? Shion. Shion! It's your thorns? But why? You okay? Just now, it looked like you used your maiden powers to suppress your thorns. You can really do that?
Stay out of my way.
Wait a second. Are you planning to go alone?
Shut up!
Why would you do this?
I told you to shut up!
I won't let you.
I mean it.
I refuse to let you.
I won't tell you again. Move or I'll shoot.
If that's the case, then go ahead and shoot me!
Do you remember back when I was stabbed? By Rolron?
Yeah. I thought for sure that he had killed you back there.
That wasn't the first time.
Huh?
The first time was when I was only a child. After that, no matter how often, I just couldn't die.
Couldn't die? So you're immortal? How's that even...
I believe you, Shion. But tell me how is something like that possible?
My thorns. They're me, but at the same time not. They're part of me. I have no idea why, but my thorns will never let me die. At least not before I'm meant to.
You can't die before your death?
When my thorns free themselves, it will be my death. I've seen it. A darkness that swallows up everything until nothing remains. It's a vision of oblivion I can't escape. I want to believe it's all just a bad dream. But no matter what I tell myself, I know it's not.
Yeah, but you... Wait. The whole reason you needed the Renaissance was to get rid of your thorns, right?
If I burn away what's inside, then what will happen to the rest of me? Right. Either way you look at it, I'm going to die. But if I am going to die, I figure I can at least take my thorns out with me. That's what I've been after this whole time.
That's why you turned your back on your fellow Renans and chose to fight with us, isn't it? And while we've all been fighting to keep on living, you have been with us fighting desperately to die.
That was the plan. But then I met all of you. And before I knew it, I didn't want to die anymore.
Shion, don't lose hope yet. We'll find a way to save you. There's still time to...
It's pointless.
Why?
Because the darkness won't just consume me. The truth is, it will consume all of existence as well. It was only a suspicion at first, but ever since the Red Woman triggered my maiden powers, I've been more certain than ever before. It was then that I finally came to realize my powers were holding my thorns in check the entire time. But they don't anymore. Not since Lenegis, when the wedge fell. Every day, I feel the Thorn's power growing stronger inside of me. Pretty soon, I won't be able to hold them back anymore. And when that happens...
They will consume all existence.
And that's why you wanted to leave by yourself. You planned to find the Renis Alma on your own and sacrifice yourself to stop the Thorns.
But that's... too much. It's way too much.
When this all began, I didn't care what happened to me or anyone else. And what happened to the Renans or the Danans didn't matter to me at all. I know I have to die. But I don't want to. Not now that I have this. I wish we had never met. Then I wouldn't have to feel this way.
Shion!
Alvin?
Only living for the sake of dying is no better than being a slave. How can you endure this?
Alvin.
It's not fair. I don't care what anybody says. I won't let it happen. We can fight this. We'll fight until the end together. Isn't that what you said to me before?
Even if it should mean that it'll be the end of everything else, too?
Shion, what do you want? It's your decision, ultimately. But if you decide not to fight fate, I will. Even if I have to do it alone.
No, you won't be alone. I'll fight as well.
Count me in as well. I want to be a force for good, not hate.
And me too. I meant it with all of my heart when I told you before. Neither of you are alone in this at all.
You guys...
And I, for one, don't believe this venture is without hope.
Huh?
Shion is the descendant of a maiden from 300 years ago. Given the circumstances, it seems very likely that those events have some connection to her thorns. The true nature of which, I imagine we will discover as we make our way to Lenegis and uncover the truth of what's unfolding here.
I take it you mean we might find a way to get rid of her thorns and she'll live?
It's certainly possible. Though I suspect the nature of the Sovereign is connected somehow.
So be it. I've already lost everything I had once. And I won't let it happen again. Shion. No matter what happens from now on, we're right here with you. All of us are. You are not alone.
You guys... You're all so stubborn. Thank you, everyone. For right now, and a little while longer, I just want to hold on to this dream. And most of all, more than anything else, I want to be with all of you. So let's go. On to Lenegis.
end of the world. It's hard to believe, isn't it?
I believe Shion is telling the truth. What about you?
As a friend, yes, I want to believe her. Everything that's happened seems to point towards some sort of great danger that's lurking ahead of us. Still, it's hard to fathom something that could usher outright doom to the world. That those really are the stakes we face.
No, I understand. Even Shion doesn't seem to know exactly what will happen to bring it all about.
We have so many pieces of the puzzle in our hands, so many clues, yet the us.
So where do her thorns fit in then?
Well, I imagine they must sit at the very center of it all. You remember the voice we all heard while we were inside the wedge, don't you?
Yeah, I remember. It was the will of Dana's astral energy come to life. Well, that's what we all thought.
Right. And from that, we're able to hypothesize how vast concentrations of astral energy can become sentient. Let's return to when we found Shion in Pelagian. When her thorns went wild, they contained far more astral energy than any mere Renin would normally have inside them.
So you think those thorns might be alive too? That their will is what keeps her from dying? But why would they want to destroy the entire world?
As for that, I really cannot say for certain. Its goals still remain a mystery. It may be a mere fluke that her maiden powers have been able to contain it thus far.
You know, I've noticed since we've met that you like figuring out riddles.
Can you blame me? When one realizes that the world they once thought to be true is but a mere facade, they can't help but seek the truth. Especially when that deception has led to others getting hurt.
Dohalim?
I imagine the remaining pieces of the puzzle that we seek rest somewhere within Lenegis. As for what the final picture will look like, who can say? I think it's best we not dwell on it too much for the time being.
Right.
How you holding up?
Who, me?
Yes, you. You took a hit from those thorns again, didn't you?
Oh, that? That was nothing.
Compared to what Shion's going through, you mean? Still, even if you yourself might be willing to endure that kind of pain, that doesn't mean Shion wants to have to see you get hurt by her thorns, you know?
Yeah, I know. I'll be careful.
Shion doesn't know how lucky she is to have you around, you know? Dashing in to save her at the last minute.
Yeah, very funny.
I'm being serious. You went up and held her close like you still had that mask on, and you didn't even bat an eye. She really needed that. That's what I mean when I said you saved her. Just like you did with the rest of us.
I just want for Shion what we all have. The ability to touch someone without the fear of killing them. Those thorns have robbed her of the kind of everyday things we all take for granted. And it's not right.
You can say that again. It may be normal for us, but that doesn't make it any less special or important for her. I hope she gets what she wants. I have my own dreams, but a world without her, where she dies so we can all survive, isn't a world I want to live in.
Agreed. It's like more and more keeps getting taken from her, and I'm done with it.
Mm-hmm.
Can't sleep?
After everything we just heard, how could I?
Fair enough.
Shion's had to deal with so much on her own. Even when we were all laughing and celebrating, she just kept quiet and didn't say anything. I thought she was keeping her distance because of her thorns. That it was because she didn't want to hurt anybody by getting too close. I just figured that that was the type of person she was, you know? But it turned out to be none of that. All this time, she felt like she had to die and sacrifice herself for the greater good. But even then, she didn't think she could say anything to us about it.
I know.
She was so alone this entire time. How could I call her a friend and yet be so completely blind to everything she was going through?
I'm sure it made her happy, knowing you were there for her.
You really think so?
Yeah, I do. If she didn't think of us as friends, I don't think she could have ever opened up to us like that. You were a good friend to her before, and you'll be an even better one now.
Yeah, I really hope so. I want to be the best I can for her. When you think about it, we were all alone in our own way. But over time, we've all found ways to let each other into our lives. I hope Shion's able to do that one day too. No, I mean, I hope she's able to do that more. Lots and lots more. I think it'd be really nice if we could all just be there to support each other when it really counts. And forget about our grudges and pain.
Finwell.
Did you know?
You mean about Shion?
Yeah, I didn't have the slightest idea. I mean, every once in a while I thought something seemed a little off, but I never could have imagined. It's like a completely different world was spinning around me and I couldn't even see it.
You and me both. I mean, I knew something was bothering her, but I could never quite figure out what it was.
You? But you're the one always looking out for her, aren't you?
That's what I thought. But in reality, I didn't understand it all. What I thought was helping and being there for her was actually just driving her into a corner.
At least you figured it out in time, though, right?
I don't think we're out of the woods yet. But yeah, you're right. We brought her back from the edge, and we're going to stop those thorns from taking her, no matter what.
Yeah, with all of us together, there's nothing we can't handle. Shion, the world, we can save everyone. And I mean it when I say we, Alphen.
I know. No lone wolfing it.
Hey, you're the expert on what my dad would say. Do you think he'd pat me on the back or tell me off?
Zephyr, I don't think that he'd have that much to say, to be honest. You're your own man now, Law. And you've already made up your own mind about what you want.
I guess he couldn't say anything even if he wanted to.
Law.
Sorry. I guess those of us amongst the living have enough problems to deal with, don't we? We'll need all our strength to save Shion. I'll probably end up worrying again at some point, but I guess I'll think it over more then. That okay?
Yeah, I think it is. Hey, you doing all right?
I seem to cause nothing but worry. As much as I try to look like I have things under control, everyone still worries about me.
You're not the only one.
Hey, do you remember the first time you said I was your friend?
No? When was that? Sorry, I can't remember.
That's okay. It came so naturally to you, I'm not surprised you forgot. I was different back then. The Danans were not even people to me, and I knew I would always be alone. But in that room with Deadheim, when you called me your friend, it just shattered the wall that I'd built up around me. Because until that moment, I'd only seen you as a means to an end. I thought of you as a way to use the blazing sword, and to obtain the Renis Alma. But after that day, one time became two, and before I knew it, you'd made a habit of calling me and Dohalim your friends. It didn't matter that we were Renans. You cared about us as you would any other people. Then, Everyone else started to call me their friend too. To think of me as their friend. Before then, I never even dreamed I could have that. I didn't want to die and lose you all. But I also didn't want to live if it meant you would all die in my place.
Shion.
But then I realized I'd only really been thinking of myself that entire time. After saying how I felt, and hearing what you all had to say, I finally understood that. Don't worry, it's okay. I'm not planning on dying anymore. I've met too many people along the way who I truly care about to give in now. So I'll fight. For Dana and for myself. I'll fight against my fate to preserve our future. And I'll win, come hell or high water. I don't know how we're going to do it, but I won't let the world end because of me.
It's going to be a long, hard road ahead, Shion. Our fight won't be over until everyone, both Danans and Renans, can finally live in peace. But I swear I'll be there with you, until the very end.
Thank you.
Remember what we learned back in Calaglia? There's no wall so high that we can't break it down.
Yeah, I think you may be right about that.
Everyone well rested? Then let's go. We depart for Lenegis.
Out pretty all right, don't you think?
Mind if I join you, Law? Hey, Law. About what you said before.
When?
You were telling me how there were things you wished you could have asked your dad. If you want, you can always come to me with your questions.
What brought this on all of a sudden? Don't I already lean on you enough as it is?
Still, there's plenty you would want to ask him if he was still alive, right?
I mean, yeah, but I think you'll have a hard time answering any of them, if I'm being honest.
How come?
I mean, the stuff I want to ask him about is, like, how he met my mom and how he won her over. Stuff like that. Anyway, not really something you can help with, right?
You're right. Sorry, Law. I can't even begin to imagine how to help with that.
You're telling me. I just wish there was someone experienced I could ask about this kind of stuff.
Yeah, he was definitely that.
See you guys tomorrow. You guys ready to hit the road? I know I am.
Well, it's the moment of truth.
This lady better hold together once we're up in the air.
Law, don't say that. You're going to jinx us.
Speaking of which, Alphen, this bucket of bolts got a name?
A name? You know, I'm not sure she ever had one. I never really thought about it.
Well, after all the trouble we went through to find her, we should give her one, right? I was thinking something like...
Fall Knights.
Huh?
It means owl in the ancient tongue. Literally, the one drawn to the skies.
I like it. Sounds perfect for our little escapade.
Not sure I'm completely convinced, but... Well, it's as good a name as any. From now on, she'll be known as the Fall Knights.
Okay, people. We have 2 goals. First, we need to get to Lenegis and make the Renans finally leave Dana alone. And then, we need to figure out the truth behind Shion's thorns and find a way to save her. Sound good? All right. Then let's go.
You know, I can still hardly believe it.
Believe what?
I mean, just look at it. The whole of existence, crammed inside a tiny frame.
Now that you mention it, I guess you're right. It does look more like a painting than a living, breathing world.
From up here, all the struggles we've been through feel so insignificant.
Nothing like realizing how small you are to put everything into perspective. Kinda makes the differences between the Renans and the Danans feel pretty small too, huh?
How much longer until we reach Lenegis?
There are better ways to use your time than napping. We should take a moment to familiarize ourselves with the facilities on board before arrival.
Good idea. The starship may end up serving as our base of operations once we're down there. Think you'll be all right with the controls?
You mean the one set to automatic pilot? I dare say I'll manage. I'm basically just here to supervise.
In that case, she's all yours.
Everything okay, Shion? You seem a little
Is something wrong?
No. I was merely thinking how it had been 7 years, that's all.
You mean since you became a lord and left Lenegis? I guess even someone like you can get homesick, huh?
I am as prone to sentimentality as any other. Tell me, though. You too have a history with Lenegis. A traumatic one, no less. This trip will probably mean facing up to some difficult emotions. Doesn't that frighten you?
Well, it is a place where I took the lives of countless people. I'd be lying if I said I hadn't thought about it. But I can't keep running forever. The past is what it is. There's no changing that. But the future's what we make it.
I see.
Dohalim?
Forgive me. I was wrong to pry. We have more pressing matters to address. Come back and speak to me when you finish looking around the ship.
We'll be going to Lenegis soon.
This must feel like a homecoming of sorts to you, huh? What was life on Lenegis like back then? You know, before you came to Dana.
Let's just say, I don't have many happy memories. I've had thorns my whole life, for as long as I can remember. They called it treatment, but in truth, they were just using me as a guinea pig for their research.
You mean, they experimented on you?
That's right. All I was to them was a riddle to solve. They poked and prodded me, trying to figure out what triggered my thorns or changed the form they took. Day in and day out, every single day, one test after another. I'm still surprised they didn't try to dissect me. The look they gave me whenever one of them touched my skin. How could I forget it? Reeling from the pain, like I was a monster or something. Some existence, huh? A blight on any I touched, helplessly complicit in their pain. I thought things couldn't get any worse, but then they did. I started to have nightmares, visions of the coming apocalypse. Is it any wonder I lacked a cheery disposition? Unable to so much as touch another soul. Loneliness was my best friend. Sure, I survived, but with the knowledge that one day I'd be swallowed up by oblivion. That's when it hit me. If I was going to die, then it should mean something. If I have to sacrifice myself to save the world, so be it.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you relive that.
No, it's fine. I'm in a much better place now.
You say it's your destiny to die so that others can live. But why not the other way around? Why shouldn't we be the ones dying to save you?
Are you crazy? Why would you sacrifice your life for...
That's exactly my point. Why should you have to give up your life just because you drew the short straw in the destiny stakes? How is that even right? It's that logic that's used to justify slavery, as if some of us were just meant to be sacrificed. This struggle was never about saving only ourselves. But that doesn't mean we have to give up our own lives to save everyone else's either. If we're doing this to protect people, if we're doing this to save the world from destruction, then that has to include saving each other as well.
A world free of sacrifice. That's what you've been fighting for all along, isn't it?
Not just me. We're in this together, remember? This fight is yours too, Xion. If we're going to win, everyone has to win. There can be no room for losers in this fight. Now I see it. The true nature of our struggle.
A victory without losers. But that means that a Danon victory over Rena can't be the end. Do you think we can pull it off?
You bet we can pull it off. We have to. It's the only hope we have of things ever changing.
Yeah, you're right. No one's ever changed the future without aiming for the stars. We can do this. Together.
Hey, Alphen, listen to this! So Law and I were just talking and...
Hey, shut up!
What's got Law all flustered?
Only that he's afraid of flying, the big baby. And after all that fuss he made about naming the ship, too.
Hey, I never said I was scared. I just think it's, you know, a little unsettling how we're going to be cruising through space in a glorified tin can. That's all.
It's a starship, dummy. That's what it's supposed to do. I don't think there's anything strange about it.
Well, maybe you're the one with the problem then.
Guys. I'm no expert, but I think we can trust Renan technology. Got me to Dana in one piece, remember?
Oh, that's a good point. If you think so, Alphen, it must be okay. Don't you agree, Law?
Hard to argue with that, seeing how you hitched a ride in one of these things before, Alphen. It's just wrong, okay?
You okay? Feeling airsick?
Actually, now that you mention it, not at all. These starships are a remarkably smooth ride, all things considered. Nothing like being at sea, thank goodness.
Glad to hear it. That device there caught your eye, huh?
I was just wondering what it is. It looks big enough to fit a person inside of it.
It's a healing pod. It fixes injuries and illnesses.
Oh, you don't say. Well, that should definitely come in handy if any of us get injured while we're down there. Alphen? Was it something I said?
No, I was just thinking back to when I escaped Lenegis, that's all. What with the ceremony and losing control, I was a total mess. Died here.
So, you're saying you got in this thing straight after escaping? But that mean... you were inside for 300 years?
Yes, it sounds crazy, I know. But don't even ask me why I stayed asleep all that time.
That's definitely quite some lie-in, all right. But still, whether you meant to or not, I sure am glad that it's this century that you finally woke up in.
What do you mean?
With the amount of fighting we've done, we would have never made it this far without you. And not only that, but... Alphen, can you recall back to what it is that I said to you? Back when we left Menancia? About the dream of coexistence, and needing to learn what it entailed?
Of course. That's why you came with us, right? To learn what you couldn't at home.
Even in that time, I was well aware that what I was living was a lie. But at the same time, I also felt really compelled to fulfill my brother's wishes. I'll always remember him fondly. But the coexistence we're fighting for isn't for him. It's for people now. And those still to come. The world's bigger than just Menancia. My dream is for all Danans, wherever they might be, to be free. If I've learned anything on this journey, it's that. And the one who brought me along was you, Alphen. I'll forever be grateful to you.
Well, we're not out of this forest just yet. You should probably save your thanks. At least, until we've dealt with the Red Woman.
I know. But whatever we find when we get down there, I'm through looking the other way.
Kisara.
Probably getting a little ahead of myself, huh? Let's take things one step at a time.
Is everyone about ready? We'll soon be making preparations to land.
Before we do that, just what exactly should we expect when we get down there?
Kisara has a point. Now that I think of it, I don't know the first thing about Lenegis.
I'd like to hear more too. It's been centuries since I was last there, and they didn't exactly give me the grand tour.
Very well. First and foremost, Lenegis was the base of operations in charge of the crown contest on Dana. Of course, it also happens to be a city in its own right, complete with its own independent society. Its social structure is based on a strict hierarchy. Put simply, the strength of an individual's astral arts carries great weight.
Enough to determine someone's social rank, you mean? But astral arts are innate, right? So people's positions are fixed at birth.
They can be honed with the right training, and there are admittedly other factors at play. But yes, that's basically the gist. As a result, family lines that churn out lords and their contenders wield disproportionate influence, and those lineages are treated as nobility.
Those capable of only weak astral arts are effectively an underclass, denied the right to descend to Dana even if they wanted to. Still, even the lowest rung on the Renin ladder is considered superior to being a Danan. Keep that in mind down there.
Thanks for the warning. As a lord, Dohalim must have been pretty high up in the pecking order, right? What about you, Shion?
Come on, you've seen her skill with astral arts. You really need to ask?
Fair point.
On arts alone, you're right. I'd have been sitting pretty. But you're forgetting my thorns. They weren't exactly an invitation to high society.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. It's refreshing to be around someone who says what they're thinking. Life's less complicated that way.
Jeez, give backhanded compliments much?
Wait a second. Are you? He is! Lost blushing!
I am not!
Of course, separating people into castes based on something arbitrary like arts is discrimination at its worst. As if such simplistic criteria could ever be a measure of someone's worth.
So this red woman, are we expecting to find her on Lenegis?
I would wager so. Lenegis is too deeply involved in all this to discard the possibility. Chances are she's also connected to the Renis Alma being stolen from us in Pelegion.
If the Renis Alma is being used to exploit Dana, we need to take it back at all costs.
That red woman's got a lot to answer for. Just as well I've got a ton of questions.
We're about to land. The descent could be a little bumpy, so brace yourselves.
If there are clues about your thorns out there, Shion, we'll find them. There's no one here. I wasn't expecting a welcome mat, but still.
Lenegis's infrastructure is largely automated. Besides, people won't be expecting incoming traffic while the crown contest is still underway.
Do you think anyone realizes that we're here?
We may not have received a royal welcome, but I doubt our entrance went unnoticed. Don't let your guard down.
I really hope we don't have to fight anybody while we're here.
So now what? We've come all this way on a hunch that this red woman is here, right? And if we're lucky, the Renis Alma too. Any idea where we should start looking?
There is an area of the city that is accessible only to the Sovereigns, known as the Forbidden Zone. That seems as good a place as any for us to start.
Forbidden? What are they hiding?
I don't know, hence my desire to find out. Fortunately, we just so happen to have a Sovereign in our midst. In any case, changing the shape of a huge structure such as Lenegis would have required an immense source of power.
And you think that source might have been the Renis Alma?
Precisely. Alphen said that he remembered the Renis Alma being used in the spirit channeling ceremony 3 centuries ago. Whatever the ceremony's purpose, if preparations are underway for it to be held once more, then the Renis Alma might be in the same place as last time, possibly together with the Red Woman. Hiding something of that worth in the residential quarters would only court trouble. In which case...
It stands to reason we should be looking somewhere normally out of bounds. Is that it?
Indeed.
But it's been over 300 years since I was made a Sovereign. You can't seriously think I'll be able to waltz right into the place after all this time.
There's only one way to find out. If there's even a chance you can get us in, I say we give it a shot.
Shion's right. Who knows? We might even find a clue to her thorns while we're at it.
All right. It's not like we're swimming in leads, so let's try to track down the Forbidden Zone. Beyond that wall lies a city.
Thinking about what could be lurking out here is giving me the heebie-jeebies.
For such a loudmouth, you sure can be a worrywart at times.
Oh, I'm sorry. How stupid of me for wanting us to stay safe.
Would you two children stop squabbling? Or do you want everyone to know we're here?
So how many Renans actually live in this place?
I couldn't tell you exactly, though not as many as you might expect. Machines and Zeugles take care of most of the city's basic functions.
There's Zeugles out here too, huh? Sounds like we can't afford to let our guard down after all.
What in the world?
This being Renan territory, I was prepared for a lot of things to look different. But this is a bit more than I anticipated.
The very foundations of the city have shifted. What could have caused this?
When Lenegis changed shape, it must have had an effect on the interior, too.
Maybe when they sent the wedge down to Dana?
But they wouldn't move around the places where people live. These are their homes, right?
I would think the citizens themselves didn't have much say in the matter. Either way, locating the Forbidden Zone just became that much trickier.
Dohalim? Is that you?
Avakir, I'm glad to see you're well.
So it is you! But why are you here? Shouldn't you be down on Dana participating in the crown contest? And these people!
So you haven't heard what happened on Dana, then?
Someone you know?
An old friend.
Hey, Dohalim, don't tell me you've started keeping company with...
They're with me. More importantly, what's happened here?
I'm really not sure. The city's foundations began to shift without warning, and now everything looks like this. We're all waiting for the Sovereign to tell us what's happening, but so far...
Avakir, listen to me. We're looking for the Forbidden Zone. Do you have any idea where we might find it?
The Forbidden Zone? What business could you possibly have there?
Trust me. The less you know, the better.
You're just the same as ever. I wish I could help, but what with the changed topography, I can barely locate my own home. Let alone the Forbidden Zone.
Very well. It looks like we'll have to find the way there ourselves.
Have you seen Faria yet?
No.
I see. Well, nothing much has changed with her. If anything, she's probably even more...
I can well imagine.
Why did you come back? You know it can only result in pain for you both.
I've no doubt of that.
You really are the same as ever. Fine, I understand. Just don't say I didn't warn you. And take care of yourself. Okay, Do?
So who's Faria?
Law?
If what Avakir said is true, it would seem the people of Lenegis are being kept in the dark about what's happening down on Dana.
They seem to be just as clueless about what's going on up here in their own world. Despite the fact that it's actually here that the wedge originally came from.
We need more information. Let's talk to the citizens, see what we can find out.
While we're at it, we can ask them about the Red Woman, too.
And don't forget about finding the way to the Forbidden Zone either.
Let's leave the talking to Shion. We can't have a bunch of Danins poking their noses around.
Good idea. I think that's for the best.
I shall assist.
You sure?
Being a lord on Lenegis has its advantages.
Right. Then we'll leave it to you two. The Danins among us.
What could be so important? It's worth destroying people's livelihoods and homes in the process. It's just... unbelievable. Uprooting an entire city as if it were mere building blocks. Someone's got an awful lot of questions to answer.
From how it looks, they must be siphoning off astral energy from Dana, and then sending it to Rena.
But why do all this? What for? Surely they can't be using all that energy for the crown contest.
Whatever their purpose, disrupting their siphoning process alone won't be sufficient. Not while we still don't know what their endgame is.
He's right. We need to stop this from happening ever again.
This Forbidden Zone might be where we find some answers, right? So what are we waiting for? Let's get moving!
You heard him. We don't have time to stop and chat. Let's move.
So, I've been wondering, do you think when Lenegis was built, it was even made with people living here in mind?
What do you mean?
Well, none of this happened by coincidence, right? They must have designed it to transform like this. But then, if they knew people were going to live here, you'd think they would have taken that into consideration, to avoid all this chaos.
Ordinarily, yes. You'd think so. Trust me, as far as we were concerned, Lenegis was our home, nothing more. No one knew about all this. It makes you wonder whether the city was just built on as an afterthought. But if so, to what exactly?
Sorry. That probably sounded weird, huh?
Not at all. Sometimes it takes an outsider's eye to help you notice what you've been missing all along. This place is a mystery, that's for sure. Something tells me we'll find answers where we're going, though.
Yeah, you're right, Shion. I'm sure we will.
Oh, dear me. What an unspeakable mess this has all become. Just look at the state of our city. Even the Zeugles have stopped heeding our commands. Whatever did we do to deserve this?
You really have no clue what might have caused this?
Would that I have. Alas, there was no warning, no prior decree. His Highness must have deemed it unnecessary for us to know. We have no choice but to grin and bear it. But do my eyes deceive me? Could I really be standing in the presence of his lordship, Dohalim of the House Ilkaris? I believed he was on Dana.
Your eyes do not deceive you. It is I, one and the same. I have returned to fulfill a special duty, the details of which I cannot divulge.
As your lordship wishes. First Lenegis mutates beyond recognition, now this unexpected visit. The Sovereign's plans are inscrutable indeed. The Ilkaris house has produced a great many lords over the centuries. I shall be praying for your victory in the latest crown contest.
Your good wishes do me an honor. I wonder just how many people have been saved by Shion in some form. I'm impressed.
There's rumors flying around about people being saved by a Renin vision of beauty.
Vision of beauty? That's a bit much.
Alphen had better stay on his toes.
Where do I come into this?
Everything will be okay now.
I know the basics of healing arts, but my skills pale in comparison.
Your lordship. Oh, what a great honor it is to finally meet you. I descended to Dana during the last crown contest also. Alas, when the contender I was backing failed to clinch the title, I returned. I witnessed the deaths of so many slaves.
Indeed.
Sorry to interrupt, but we're looking for a woman dressed all in red. Have you seen anyone of that description?
All red, eh? No, I can't say I remember anyone like that. I imagine she'd stand out somewhat, too.
Yeah. What about down on Dana during the crown contest? You didn't see anyone like that hanging around the lord you were serving?
What's with all these questions? I've never seen her, okay? Not recently or otherwise. Why do you want to find her anyway?
Never mind. Forget I asked. Sorry to take up your time. Is everything okay? You look a little lost.
Oh, yes. I can't seem to find my way home, is all. I was just about to make my umpteenth attempt at a new route.
I was hoping to head this way myself. The situation is a real pain, huh?
I suppose the Sovereign knows best. I daren't stay here too long, though. A lower caste can only linger around these parts for so long before I outstay my welcome. I was hoping to avoid it, but maybe I'll have to go that way after all.
You mean you know another way round?
Lord Dohalim Ilkaris! But how? Last I heard, you were in Dana competing in the crown contest.
Yes, strange, isn't it? If you know another route, we'd be grateful if you could tell us.
But of course. Please forgive me. There's a wall that sprung up ahead of here, with what looks to be an entrance in it. I thought maybe it was a passageway between the different quarters, but I've no way of knowing for sure.
It's worth investigating, at least. I shall go and assess the situation. In the meantime, wait for me here. If it looks safe, I'll come and let you know.
You'd really do that for me? A lord troubling himself for someone of my lowly status?
Our lot in life is of little consequence. We are both Renan, first and foremost.
Oh, why yes, my lord. Thank you.
Well, we've canvassed the city for information. What do you think?
No one has the faintest idea what's happened to the city after all. They haven't heard the news about the crown contest either.
You'd think that info would easily find its way up here. Has it always been like that?
Not to this extent. Which would indicate that something's suppressing the truth. That Lenegis is under some kind of control.
Given everything that's happened to their city, the people here seem weirdly okay with it all.
Yeah. That one guy even said his Zoogle had stopped listening to him. If that's true, these people are in big trouble.
Everything that happens here is attributed to the Sovereign's will. It's the way people have been conditioned. Their belief runs deep. Nothing happens devoid of a reason. To them, it's all part of the Sovereign's grand plan.
The Sovereign's plan. There is one thing I'm still not sure about. Just who is this person ruling over Lenegis?
The Sovereign, of course. He rules from Rena while presiding over both Rena and Lenegis.
Without the lords or anyone in the middle doing his dirty work? Isn't Rena at least the same size as Dana? That's a pretty big dominion for one person to rule over. I would have thought ruling Lenegis alone would be difficult enough.
The points you make are valid, though I confess I'd never given it much thought before. Here, the Sovereign's total night turning to day. Come to think of it, I know nothing of the nature of how Rena is... Shion, have you ever been... No, forgive me. Have you met or crossed paths with, or even heard of someone who's actually made a visit to the homeland?
No, I haven't.
Neither have I. In which case, I would imagine that... But no, surely not. Can it really be that no citizen of Lenegis has ever been there?
Hold up, what are you getting at, Dohalim?
Assuming what I believe to be correct, it's possible that no one on Lenegis has ever laid eyes on the actual Renan homeworld itself. No one but the Sovereign, that is.
But what about trade and communication? There's got to be a flow back and forth, surely.
Not if the Sovereign is imposing his will on Lenegis single-handedly. It could be a one-way street.
But I thought you said that the Sovereign's all the way over on Rena. If that's the case, can he really rule directly over Lenegis from so far away? What if something were to happen to the city, like now?
I'm beginning to wonder what the nature of this Sovereign even is. Alphen said he was forced into the role, right? Just before the ceremony. But Sovereign is also the title given to the almighty Renan ruler. So which one is it?
Whoever wins the crown contest inherits the throne from his or her predecessor, before becoming ruler over all of Rena and Lenegis. Thereafter, that individual is known as the Sovereign. Though, it would appear that the current ruler has gone silent. As for how Volron factors into all this, at this point, I no longer know what to believe.
3 centuries ago, I became the Sovereign here on Lenegis. No, not just became, I was forced to. Me, a Danon. 300 years later, we cross paths with Volron, who also bears the Sovereign's crest. That's not the only thing we have in common. We both became Sovereign without winning the crown contest.
Do you think Volron was made Sovereign for the same reason? Because of that ceremony?
I can't say for sure, but it certainly sounds like it.
But that would mean that 2 Sovereigns would need to exist at any one time. One whose job it is to rule, and the other for ceremonial purposes. We never did see Volron's body back in Ganeth Heros. Is a new ceremony underway with Volron at its center this time? Could that be what's causing all this strange activity here?
Wait a second. You don't think Volron and the Red Woman are working together, do you? The ceremony can't go forward without the Renis Alma. The same one that the Red Woman stole.
There's something else the ceremony needs. A maiden. And unless there's another one out there aside from me...
Questions, questions, and yet more questions. Ones that it seems will remain unanswered, until we can establish the Sovereign's identity.
If the Forbidden Zone really is off-limits to everyone but the Sovereign, that seems as good a place as any to start. For the sake of liberating Dana, too.
Then it's decided. That's where we need to go.
One of the citizens mentioned a passage that she thought might lead to another section of the city. It could point us in the right direction. Let's go find it! I didn't realize Renans oppressed their own kind, too.
And yet, weirdly, none of them seem to mind. Am I the only one who finds that strange?
It is the way things have always been, so no one thinks to question it. You have experience in that regard yourself, do you not?
Unquestioning acceptance of your own servitude. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Hey, welcome back.
Even so, the quality of life here seems much higher than any Danon city we visited. I used to think it was impossible to build an ideal society without wealth. But I suppose having it doesn't always mean people are treated fairly either.
More to the point, not a single citizen seems to have even heard of the Red Woman.
What if she's not here? What if it turns out we're looking in the wrong
all
place
good.
entirely?
It's still
That's
too
why I
early to
have
say
all
anything
the
for sure.
episodes available.
For all we know,
Always.
she might be able to blend in, move around unnoticed. I say we hold off judgment until we've exhausted every avenue.
Huh. You mean karate?
Tell me, Dohalim, has that skill of yours got a name?
And what skill would this be, pray tell?
You know,
Karate?
when you're talking to people
Yeah.
around town. The way they suddenly become putty in your hands.
I'm afraid I don't
What
quite follow.
belt are you?
I do. It's called friendly intimidation. Look imposing and speak in a deep, booming voice, and presto, you'll have people wrapped around your finger in no time.
I would never stoop to such scandalous tricks. Any feelings of intimidation are solely in the eye of the beholder.
Oh, nice.
So there is a knack to it! How do you learn it? Can anyone do it?
Now you've got me curious. Is there special training to master?
Let's see. An obsession with being elegant is a must. Oh, and it helps to be old-fashioned, too. Bonus points if you speak in a way no one can understand.
If you've a bone to pick with me, it'd be quicker to just come out and say it.
What? They look up to you, that's all. I'm just helping them along.
Hey! What's got into Alvin and Law all of a sudden?
I can barely understand a word they're saying. And what's with the weird poses? Was it something they ate?
I hope you're willing to take the blame for this one.
I wasn't expecting them to take me so seriously. I'll go and have a word with them.
What? That's funny.
With nobody left to run the show, I wonder what the people here are supposed to do. I mean, they're sovereigns up on the Renin homeworld, and all their lords were sent to Dana.
But Dohalim was a lord, right?
Nope, not me.
Only current acting lords have power. Renin society is quite strict about such matters.
Even if the other lords were still around, I doubt they'd be able to do much about the situation.
I wonder what they'd think if they were here to see Lenegis now.
That is weird.
Balsif, Ganabelt, Almadria, and Volron. Now that I think of it, aside from Dohalim, we know next to nothing about the other lords.
Well, yeah, why would we? To us Danans, they were just enemies we needed to overthrow. Nothing more.
I know. But seeing Renins in their own city, going about their day-to-day lives, it gets you thinking.
It feels strange to imagine the lords living here too, you mean?
Yeah, a little.
If you're that curious about them, why not try inquiring with some of the locals? Every lord in their household has their share of supporters here on Lenegis. And luckily for us, the people here are unaware of the events on Dana, which means they should be more inclined to talk to us.
Yes! Yes!
Balsef had it in him to care about someone other than himself? Really?
It's possible. A change in position can do much to alter one's perspective.
So even he might have had something he wanted to protect.
I guess she intended to spread it throughout all of Lenegis then.
Good thing the lines were down so she couldn't.
It almost sounded like she was praising them too.
Maybe there was more to the guy than at first glance.
I shall refrain from commenting.
What?
Ganabelt was so horrible to people. Yet he was invested in helping Rena succeed. Doesn't that seem just a little inconsistent?
I'm perhaps biased in this matter, I admit. However, in my mind, while all lords vie to become the next sovereign, they're also meant to serve as guardians of all of Rena.
It seems like Ganabelt also had people he cared about until the very end.
So why couldn't he extend that to us Danans?
That's the question, ain't it?
This area doesn't look as badly damaged as that other district we went through.
Indeed.
Pardon me.
I guess her willingness to stoop to any low came from a survival of the fittest worldview.
And some people here not only shared her belief, but championed it as morally right too.
That doesn't make it true. Too bad they couldn't see through her.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Okay.
It seems like the people on Lenegis don't really know much about Volron either.
I remember being quite surprised when the Lord of Ganeth Haros changed so abruptly.
Didn't you have any doubts that something suspicious was going on?
On the contrary. Remember, we Renans are raised to accept everything at face value.
When you think about it, the families of Renan lords must see them differently than the rest of us.
Yeah, despite the brutality they're known for.
They must have had a lot on their shoulders, carrying all the weight and responsibilities of Renan society.
Renans live in a world where strength and power determine their position in the social hierarchy, so they tend to grow up fiercely competitive. But their loyalty to their people is also strong. It's what brings them together against outside forces, and nothing exemplifies that more than the Lords.
That's what makes them the guardians of all of Renan, so to speak.
Right. It's the same reason Balsif hated my guts, and Ganabelt went after you, because we're threats to Rena.
Guess that makes you an even bigger oddball than we thought.
So, Alphen, have you gained anything from all of this?
Yeah. I think it's made me realize that the Lords were all people, too. Balsif and the others, they all had their own circumstances to deal with as they went through life.
Yeah, but still, just because they had loved ones in their lives doesn't mean...
I know. What they did was horrible. I'm not trying to dispute that. But at the same time, they weren't incomprehensible monsters either. They were individuals, just like the rest of us. So I guess what I'm trying to say is...
You're saying that they weren't bad because they were Renans, or because they were terrible monsters. Even if they did terrible things, they were still just people.
Rinwell.
Am I wrong?
Not at all.
Being a Danan doesn't make you a good person. And being a Renan doesn't make you a bad one. I think that's something we've all seen.
Shion and Dohalim definitely make a good case for it.
And I'm going to keep doing my best to make sure I earn that trust. As a fellow human being above all else.
What's this thing? There's something I just don't get.
What is it?
The crown contest itself has always gone ahead as planned, right? In which case, the current Sovereign of Rena should be whoever it was that won the previous contest.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, who was it then?
Hanfried Milgras, the former Lord of Cislodia, if memory serves.
So then this Hanfried whatchamacallem, he's the current ruler of Rena?
The last I heard, yes. Though, admittedly, I haven't actually seen him since the end of the previous contest.
You're saying that ever since becoming Sovereign, he's never actually shown himself on Lenegis?
I guess over holocom maybe, but not in the flesh. Same thing goes for the Sovereign that came before him.
Now that you mention it, I don't recall anyone ever visiting Lenegis from the motherland, Sovereign or otherwise.
And that never struck you as a little bit odd?
When you live here, it's as if you're conditioned not to notice all these strange quirks and discrepancies. The question is then, by whom? And to what end?
A new Renis Alma is supposedly created to coincide with every crown contest, meaning each victor is awarded their very own. In other words, if that's true, there should be as many of the things out there as there have been contests.
True, but going on what we witnessed in Pelagian, it didn't look like the sort of thing that could be made to order. But if even the victor's speeches have been part of some grand deception, then where are they? Quite frankly, I'm not even sure what to believe anymore.
You and me both. Though we are Renin by blood, neither of us even knew that such a thing as a Dark Master Core existed, remember?
With any luck, the Forbidden Zone might give us some answers.
No use standing around here chatting about it then. Let's get a move on.
Joe?
Faria.
Varia? Isn't that the person that Avakir guy was...
But why are you here? Wait. Don't... a crown contest and come crawling back home from Dana already. Nothing to say? Even though you were willing to kill Tarnigan to secure your position as Lord, you still...
Kill?
I'm here to take care of something. If you wish to continue this conversation, I only ask that you wait until I'm finished.
Oh, of course. You always did prefer to take the coward's way out. Even after 7 years and living on that Danon rock, you haven't changed one bit. But let me tell you, I haven't changed either. Not a day's gone by the past 7 years that I haven't hated you.
If killing me will bring you peace, then so be it.
Dohalim, what the hell are you saying?
First, I have business to take care of. If it's vengeance you seek, I will grant you it. But you must wait. My sins are legion. Let me finish what I came to do. Then you have my word. I will let you do whatever brings you peace.
Sure, that's it. Run away like always. You don't even have the courage to die. No wonder you leave it to someone else. You're just a coward!
Dohalim.
I apologize that you had to witness that.
Is it true? What she said about you killing someone?
Each of us have our pasts. I am no exception.
Before, back in Menancia, you mentioned having taken a friend's life over the throne. Is that what she meant?
The mistakes I made there were not my first, and may not be my last. I will say no more.
Did you mean what you said? About letting her take your life if she wanted to?
She has more right to my life than anyone.
But you can't just...
Whatever happens, I have sworn to put an end to the crown contest, and to ensure continued coexistence in Menancia.
Wait, it happened
I have
again?
no intention of expiring before I do so. There are far too many questions I still seek answers to. Besides, you have just as much reason to kill me as she does.
Dohalim!
Forgive me.
That's weird.
Some things are best left unsaid.
And I think it just resent all of those messages. That is definitely weird. No, it's me still. Like, I'm still here, but YouTube likes to pretend I'm not for some reason. Yeah. It's me and you, really. I watch it mainly because I watch my stream mainly because of just to make sure it doesn't mess up at all ever, like, you know, crash or give me no like visual kind of thing. It's done that before. Hasn't done it.
Wow,
in
this
a
place
while.
is beautiful.
But
Yeah,
you know, I've
it
always
must be some
when
sort
watching.
of rest and leisure area for the locals.
Yeah,
You
that
think?
too.
Man, these Renin sure know how to live it up, don't they?
But
Is something the matter, Dohalim?
Before I went down to Dana, my friends and I, we used to gather at this very spot and play music together.
so I've been thinking about it,
Avakir,
and
Faria, and Tarnigan.
after we're done with
That was a
Tales of
lifetime ago now.
Arise,
Tarnigan.
we're probably gonna
He was
go
the one that
on
Faria mentioned,
and
right?
do the
He was once my dearest,
Tales of
closest
Xillia
friend,
1 and 2.
as well
I
as
have that
Faria's
on
betrothed.
PS3, so that'll be through the Genki Shadowcast and the OBS Studio.
Despite Faria's
That's how
lower
that
class
one will be
upbringing,
done.
she possesses
But,
a tremendous talent for music.
And mainly we're going to do that one
Entranced by her
because
playing, I helped her
well,
overcome her sense of inferiority and
that
introduced
is,
her to Tarnigan
as of yet,
and Avakir. It was a time of great joy. For
the
people
only
bound only by their love of music, with no care for social
Tales
standing.
game that I
Only the
know of
next
as
song,
of yet
the next melody.
that has, that has like multiple games to it.
A friendship based on mutual respect, and a society where everyone is a prisoner to their social class. You
But
really
yeah,
are different,
currently we're on
Dohalim.
God of War 3.
I suppose
But
it's natural you would see it as strange.
I would
I'll
have.
probably
once.
actually,
Now, I think the
after
idea
we're
of
done with
breaking
God of
away
War
from
3,
society's constraints And choosing your friends based solely on
I'll
affection
probably go on
is
to God
something
of War
beautiful that's worth
2018,
cherishing.
but I'll probably call
Besides,
it God of War
it was
4.
that way of looking at the
because
world that
that's
laid the
basically what it
foundations for
is.
coexistence in Menancia.
And I'll probably
Your
title
praise
it
does me
that.
too great an honor. I
And
was
then
merely
after we're done
following the
with that
wishes of my
one,
own heart.
we'll go on to God of War Ragnarok.
And even then,
But before we
it
get
only
to that
lasted
game,
until the crown contest began.
I
After that,
kind of want to play God of War
Tarnigan and I
Ragnarok
became
on
fierce
myself,
competitors for the
off
position of
stream.
Lord.
Just
Tarnigan had
so I
fallen
don't
for
have to
Faria.
avoid
By
spoilers
becoming
for
Lord,
so
he aimed to
long,
wrest her from her humble origins and raise her to the highest echelons of society.
and that I can
But
experience
fate was not so benevolent.
No, not yet. Oh,
What
wait.
happened?
I think
Tarnigan
somebody
was no
actually
match
did.
for me in combat. On a level playing field, he wouldn't have stood a chance.
Yeah, because we got up to
But he was
400 and
desperate
something.
and low on options, and he couldn't
That one
stand the thought
stream.
of defeat.
You mean he resorted to dirty tactics to try to win, right? But then why does Faria think... Wait. Don't tell me she doesn't know.
Yeah.
How could I tell her? Combined with the trauma of losing her beloved.
Not unless you
by her
stay
friend's
in the
hand,
stream
no
for
less.
longer.
She would have
A
been
lot
devastated.
So instead you let her go on hating
Yeah, I
you.
know.
So she could use that hate as a crutch for her grief?
Maybe when we get
That's
to
not the same as running away, though.
It is exactly the same.
God
Unable
of
to face the
War
loss of my friend
4
and the burden of my
and
duty.
God of War
Instead, I
Ragnarok,
decried my fate
we'll
and
probably
looked
have
away
more
from what I'd
people
done.
watching at the time.
As for what happened after, that you already know.
But the good thing about God of War 4
If you hadn't become Lord, Menancia wouldn't be what it is now.
is I
The
don't think
Danans there
I'll
would
have
still be
to,
suffering under Renan oppression like before.
age restrict any of those episodes.
Shion's right.
Yeah.
What other lord would have treated me as you did?
And
Anyone else and I would have been
yeah, I
dead
don't
long
think I'll have
ago.
to restrict those
You've
episodes.
saved so many
age-restricted,
people, Dohalim.
because I don't remember
You
there being
saved me.
anything
It's thanks to you that I'm here today.
need to,
So, try
in
not to
that
blame
game.
yourself. The burden you've placed on your own
However,
shoulders is too much for anyone to bear.
when we do get to God of War 4, though,
Frank as always. But I shall do my best to heed your advice.
I don't think I'll do all the Valkyrie queens, like all the Valkyries, because I've never been able to beat the Valkyrie queen, even though no matter how many times I've tried.
Do you think he'll be all right?
At all.
Yeah, I think so.
Not even
He's got
close.
Kisara.
Like,
It's
actually,
important to have
that's
someone like
not
that.
entirely true, because I got close a couple
I didn't
times,
realize how difficult it is just to be there for
her.
someone.
But every single time she would come
Sometimes
back,
just knowing someone's
and,
on your side can be enough.
just wipe
And
me
he
out.
knows, Shion. I promise he does.
I hope you're right.
Okay, but hey, remember, all my uploads are always available on the channel in their specific playlists, of course.
Alphen.
Yeah?
I never
this
appreciated
series
until
and
recently
then the
just how
Tales
much
game
you were always
series
there to
playlist.
support me.
I also
both
did
ways.
edit the videos.
You've helped me keep going more times than I can count.
I did edit the videos where it
I
was
still
like,
wanted to say thank you.
I made the completed series. I changed the name of those to completed. So those are all complete. Those ones anyway. Damn. But yeah, I pretty much did everything like that. See you later.
I see a medic and supply officer over there. If they know you're with me, they'll likely offer their assistance.
This looks perfect. Guaranteed to...
Here we go. Let's go here. Because there's still a question mark here for that.
Damn it. Lenegis soldiers.
Any way we can avoid fighting them?
That all depends on them. Whatever happens, be ready.
Oh, crap. 44? Really?
Well, so much for them not wanting to fight. Ho! I am Lord Dohalim of Elda Menestia. I command you.
Threats to the city must be erased.
No. Have they been brainwashed too?
Brainwashed or not, if they want to fight, they got one.
Purge malevolence!
Will this
No further!
Dance in the wind! In here!
Damn it, Bennett!
Explosive ring!
I'm not done!
Thanks so much! Astral energy!
Say no more.
Breath of life! Heal my wound! This arm is too strong! Split it open!
Be my guest.
In here!
I'll smash you! A new melody! Heal my weary companion!
Here I come.
Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade! On your knees!
Try this.
Resonate with the other! Stalagmite!
Those soldiers seem different from the citizens we've come across so far.
Yeah.
That was fun.
They weren't big talkers, that's for sure. They just attacked without warning.
They weren't in the least bit fazed by Dohalim's presence.
Indeed. They seem to recognize us as enemies, nothing more. And yet, traditionally, Lenegis hasn't been high on threats. A few frenzied Zeugles during experiments here and there, but not much else.
Their glazed-over eyes reminded me of the soldiers and slaves we met back in Ganath Haros. The ones in blind devotion to Volron.
I've never seen anything like that here on Lenegis before.
Maybe someone doesn't want us here, and the soldiers are their way of letting us know.
What with the Red Woman, the Sovereign, and Volron, we're starting to develop quite the growing list of adversaries. At least we'll know to keep our wits about us.
Yeah.
This one will be difficult to predict.
Try this.
Raging healing!
Far enough! Don't suffer.
Explosive ring.
Anything in armor is all mine!
These ones can run rings around
Dragon
us!
swarm. You picked the wrong fight.
Together. Not on my watch!
Can you take it?
Gemini off!
Leave the ensnaring to me.
Yeah! And bubbling to me! Elucidity! A debut
Blah,
before!
blah, blah. That's
Dragon
it.
swarm.
Here's a healing arm.
Try
Here.
this.
First aid! Let them mark
Explosive ring. Dragon swarm.
Now!
Chill.
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished.
Here's a healing arm.
Now
Now
we're not safe.
Where that came from?
Try this.
Bathed in blood.
Can't be a
Explosive ring.
Nice. Another trophy.
With this, I can become even stronger. I've got a really bad feeling about this.
Take this!
Dragon swarm. Not today.
Can't be swarmed.
In your death.
Dragon
As if the
swarm.
normal creepy crawlies aren't
Sorry,
disgusting
Trouble.
enough. You do the same for me.
Explosive ring.
Ready and ready! Cure!
Thunderblade!
Leave the charges to me!
Here I go! Holy Land!
Searing gale.
Lightning!
Breath of life! Heal my weary companion!
Glacial Spear!
Cure!
Here's the
Rainbow
flame
Roar!
and death!
Another incantation ruin.
Dragon swarm.
Holy Glare!
Explosive ring.
Benediction.
Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
Will this help?
Dragon Swarm!
Arcane Waterfall! Healing Circle!
Dragon Swarm! I owe you one.
Lunar the wind! I'll stop its charge! Thanks, Kisara! Lunar Blast!
Dragon Swarm! This time!
Elusive Lunar Ray!
Easter!
If it's in the sky, it's mine! Champion Swirl! I never miss! Take
Breath of life!
Take that!
Feel my weary companion!
Water! Hear my call!
I owe you one.
Blah, blah, blah!
Thou art being interrupted!
Burning!
Benediction.
Water! Hear my call!
Take this!
And more than
I'll burn out!
no further!
Car now through all!
Dragon Swarm!
Resonate with the
Lunar
earth!
Corruption! I'll be
Benediction
saving
light.
you! Lunar Blast! I'm all stuffed up! Here! Annihilation! Radiant Call! Now for something special! More
Dragon Swarm!
Here, let me help!
Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno! The flame inside me yearns to be let free!
Arcane Waterfall!
Dragon Swarm!
Negative gate!
Freeze
Try
Blast!
this!
Gauge in the wind! Here!
Explosive
Air
ring!
drop! I'm out of ammo! Light at the
Dragon Swarm!
In here! Annihilation! Lightning! More for the stockpile!
Can't... And here!
Forgive me.
Arc Field!
This is my fault.
Not on my watch!
Try
Reload!
this!
Far enough!
Explosive ring!
Raging Storm! Lunar Blast! More where that came from! Lunar Blast! Battle!
Dragon
Take that! Magic! That'll bring you down! In here! More for the stockpile! There!
Armor won't save you!
Help this! Lightning Orb! Here! More where that came from! Gemini Aqua! Now!
Look sharp!
Lightning Tiger Blade!
My exploits are bearing... fruit.
This one's tough, but we have no choice.
Let me know if you need healing. Here goes!
Engaging! Dragon Swarm!
I'm grateful.
You think that shield will save you?
I see one, man!
Come forth!
In a vine,
Dragon Swarm!
Nothing gets by me!
I'm in your debt.
Far enough!
Dragon Swarm!
Seismic rush!
Try this! We're not finished!
Not in your dreams! There!
Ready and ready!
Damn it! Too fast!
Stand back! I'll trip it up.
Explosive ring!
Now! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Breath of
Dragon
life!
Swarm!
Heal my weary companion!
Try this!
Radiant Field! If it's in the sky,
Explosive
it's
ring!
Raging Cascade!
The flame inside me yearns to be let free!
First aid! Fire support!
Dragon Swarm!
Do it! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Breath of life!
Dragon
Heal my
Swarm!
weary companion!
Cure! Explosive ring! Release!
I'm all stuffed up!
Take
this! Raging
Try
Cascade!
this!
I'm pretty worn out.
Want to rest up for a bit?
Brace yourselves! This one's tough!
Armor won't save you!
Begin!
They really don't give up, do they?
No further! I'm nearly done for.
I can't heal you forever.
Just what I needed. More
Get
with
from the
that
Dragon
teardrop.
Swarm! Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade! On your knees! Dragon
Illuminate
Swarm!
the dark.
Freezing
Storm! Holy glimmer!
Explosive ring! Denied! I'm ready! Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade!
We can really make weapons with this?
Those... Soldiers don't seem to have any qualms about attacking on sight.
Is someone making them stand guard over the Forbidden Zone?
Don't
Yep,
get
one of
careless.
these again.
You to me!
Dreams.
Eat them! Dragon Swarm!
This one's mine.
Time to cross blade!
Sleep now. I never miss.
Explosive shattering to pieces!
Annihilation.
Dragon Swarm!
Hurricane Glimmer.
Water, hear my call!
Charge like that could easily be fatal.
Just as well, I'm here to stop you.
Here, let me help.
In a bind!
First aid.
Dragon Swarm!
Water, hear my call. Spread.
Explosive ring!
Here's a healing art. I'll be saving this.
Dragon Swarm! Dragon Swarm!
Mega Ray.
Coming through! Ha! Melt! Scarlet Inferno! This one's all mine! Ha! Ignite! Dragon Swarm!
Water, hear my call.
Benediction light!
Spread.
Dragon Swarm! Ah! Dragon Swarm!
Here it goes. Head in the wind.
Dragon
Water,
Swarm!
hear my call. Spread. Here's the flame of fury.
No! Can't end here! Dragon Swarm!
I don't even know the word defeat.
Not in your dreams.
Try this!
Will this help?
Explosive ring!
Blood magic. Cross healing.
That can't be happening.
Dragon Swarm!
Raging
Now you see what I can do!
Try this!
Catapult!
Sleep now. Ready to go.
Dragon Swarm!
And again. Whoa! Searing flame. More with that
Explosive ring!
Here, let me help. First aid.
Too much!
Can you take it?
Dragon Swarm!
Flame orb.
The flame inside me yearns to be let free! Captivity! Dragon Swarm! Any more of this and I'll burn out!
Astral energy.
Does it hurt? Explosive ring!
I never miss. Now.
Kisara! Commander of Heaven! Phoenix Cyclone!
I've used a bit... Too much healing. Don't get careless.
Leave the chargers to me!
Don't tell me!
Denied!
Explosive ring!
I've used too much. Your reflexes will not serve you well here.
Holy glimmer!
Explosive ring!
I'll heal you all!
I'll smash you! Dragon swarm! Try this!
You apart!
Explosive ring! I owe you one. Dragon swarm!
Can you take it?
Try this!
Confiscated!
Explosive ring! This one's all mine!
Illuminate this light!
Ignite!
Take this!
Dragon swarm!
Captivity! Take this!
I'm ready! Next!
Radiant touch!
Dragon swarm!
Now we're not
Here!
in a bind.
Who wants to die? Light! Out of ammo!
Elusive deity!
Lightning
I'm ready! Kisara!
Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone!
I can feel my power growing!
Brace yourselves! This one's tough! It's on! Explosive! Ignite!
It's like trying to keep up with a wall!
I'll smash you! Dragon swarm!
Light asteroid! Illuminate the dark! Annihilate! Holy glimmer! Holy land! Annihilation!
Give me. This is my
Dragon swarm!
You're mine! Arctic waterfall!
Explosive ring!
Freeze Lancer!
Remember to tell me if you need healing.
I expect you'll be in high demand if that's the case. This one's tough, but we have no choice.
Let me know if you need healing.
Bring him down!
Ready!
I'm going in! No!
There!
I'm here! Dragon swarm! Explosive ring! Hold that before! Next!
I'm only getting started!
Take this!
Astral arts?
That's my cue!
Shut him down!
Everyone, get back! It's too dangerous! Dance in the wind!
This should do it! Dragon swarm!
In a bind?
Explosive ring!
Seismic
Dragon swarm!
I'm ready!
Astral energy!
Say no more!
Dragon swarm!
Big waterfall!
Glacial steel.
Piercing
You
bolt!
did it! Dragon swarm!
Lightning attack! This one's mine! Thunderblade! Now for something water! Here illuminate the dark! Magic is blood! Holy land!
Burn!
Flame of fury!
Dragon swarm!
Water! Hear my call! Spread! Light now!
Kisara!
Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone!
With this, I can become even stronger.
This must be it. The entrance to the Forbidden Zone.
But it's just a wall. How do we get through?
Whoa, we? I thought this was Sovereigns only.
Alphen.
Yes! It opened!
Interesting. If Alphen's presence still opens the way, it would seem the Sovereign of 3 centuries ago and now are considered one and the same.
What?
What the?
Alphen.
You again.
Tomorrow's the spirit channeling ceremony. We'll finally play our parts as the Sovereign and Maiden. How have you been feeling?
What am I sovereign of? Shuffled from lab to lab, always treated like an experiment. Whenever they look at me, all they see is a Danon. I don't even know what their precious ceremony's for. Let alone what they're going to force me to do as the Sovereign. Tell me, if we're both in the same boat, why do you seem so calm right now?
No choice. Becoming the Maiden's not something I wanted for myself. But they said Rena's prosperity depended on it. How could I say no after that?
Still, as a Renan, at least you got to decide. Good for you. Meanwhile, I was taken from my homeland. You aren't the captive one here.
It isn't right what they did to you, and I'm sorry for what it's worth. When this is over, I swear I'll help you get home. I can't do this alone. One more day.
How could I say no to that? It's not like I have any choice in the matter anyway. So, what's your name?
It's Naori. Naori Imaris. Try to remember this time.
You don't act like them. Like the other Renans, I mean. How come you treat me like a person?
Because you are. It's true we come from different worlds. But neither one of us asked to be here right now. In that sense, you and I are much the same. We couldn't do this. We wouldn't be able to talk to each other as people if we didn't see the humanity in each other. So I suppose the question you should be asking is, why wouldn't I treat you like one?
You're not like the others.
Maybe they're not like me.
Here's what we'll do. We give them their damn ceremony. You get me to Dana. That'll be the end of it. I'm taking you at your word on this. I'm trusting you, not them. Naori.
What the hell just happened?
That vision. Did everyone else see it too?
That person Alphen was speaking to. She looked exactly like Shion.
It was Naori. Naori Imaris. Isn't that right?
Yeah, that's right.
She really does look like Shion. I'm beginning to see why Alphen was so confused.
That's all very well and fine, but what did we just witness exactly? It was too real to be a mere hallucination.
It was a conversation we had 300 years ago. The night before the ceremony.
You mean all of that really happened? We just saw an episode straight out of your past?
But how is that even possible? Unless... Could this be the Red Woman's handiwork too?
No, I don't think so.
Why not?
You guys didn't feel it? The moment the entrance opened, it was like a stream of Danon astral energy rushing over us.
I felt it too. And not for the first time either. It was the same sensation as back inside the wedge.
That would make sense. After all, vast amounts of Dana's astral energy were being siphoned and sent up here to Lenegis. For all we know, perhaps we're close to the spot where all that energy was stored.
So you think it might have been the energy itself that was responsible for that vision we just saw? But how? And why?
We have no way of knowing. Maybe it's not even as deliberate as all that.
Shion, you okay?
Yeah. It was all just a little sudden. That's all. So that was my ancestor, huh? It was like looking into a mirror.
Yeah, there certainly is a resemblance.
What about you? How are you holding up?
Me?
Even putting aside the question of where that vision came from, it's likely we'll see more of those. Reliving painful episodes from your past. Do you think you can handle it?
I can't just pretend like the past never happened. Besides, if it helps us uncover the truth of what that ceremony really was, it might also lead to answers about your thorns.
Alphen.
That's not all. This whole time, we've been fighting to free Dana from the Renans. But now that we're here, it seems those same Renans might have it just as bad. I'd like to liberate them too, if I can. Which is just another reason I can't afford to shield my eyes from the truth.
Whether you're on Dana or somewhere else, you always stay the same. Your indignation and righteous passion, your desire to free and protect, they're all hardwired into you. Not that I'm complaining. Come on, let's bust this thing wide open.
Nobody's here.
Stay sharp. After that last illusion, there's no telling what could happen in here.
Faria, how did you get in here?
Wait, something about her isn't right.
What's wrong with her? She doesn't even seem to know where she is.
Yeah, you're right. She looks just like the soldiers we encountered outside.
A summoning?
But that's preposterous. She never had that kind of power when—
We can talk later. Here it comes!
What? I've never known Faria to control Zoogles like that before.
How about with a stone that looks suspiciously like a master core?
What the? Where did she get her hands on that?
First we handle the Zoogles. Then we get some answers.
Yeah!
Aim for the weak spot.
Dragon Steel! Take this!
Raging Storm! Healing
Explosive ring!
Hit! Lightning
I'll grind you into dust!
Eliminate the Dark Fury!
Explosive ring!
Burning Strike!
Water!
Wind!
Heal!
Lightning!
Wind!
Damn it!
Sword of Spear!
I'll stop its charge!
Thanks, Kisara!
Heal my weary—
Wind!
Ready and ready!
One more!
Soda!
Raging Storm!
Rising Phoenix! Dragon Swarm!
Photon! Hurry, Malevolent! Magic is there! Reload!
Explosive ring! Wide open!
Won't escape me!
This one's mine!
Can't move!
Don't leave me!
Dragon Swarm! Heal my weary companion!
Like the
Now you see what I can do!
Lightning Condemn! Annihilation! Thunderbolt! Nothing gets my hand! Holy Land! I'll heal you all!
Explosive ring!
Healing Surge!
Dragon
Into
Swarm!
the wind!
Far enough! I'm
In
stalagmite!
here!
Try this!
Arc
Bathed
Steel!
in blood! Rending you
Not on my
apart!
watch!
Explosive ring!
Heavy help!
Resonate with the earth!
Raging Storm! More where that came from! Hit! Lunar
You're mine!
Prison!
Dragon!
By the power
This is looking good!
Annihilation!
Try this! Ignite!
Mega Ray! Dance in the wind! Aqua!
This
Shield!
should do it!
I'll be saving
Cure!
this one!
Try this!
Blah, 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 magic!
I'm ready! Chill!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished! Dragon Swarm! Try this!
Shining!
I owe you one.
Supernova! It's go time! Here I go! More where that came from!
Dragon Swarm!
Magic is there!
Try this!
Freeze Lancer!
Can't get out of this!
Look at this move! Sleep now!
Here comes a big one!
I'm ready! This one's mine! Here goes!
Explosive
More
ring!
where that came from! Healing art!
You may be strong,
Stalagmite!
but I'll never back down!
Raging Storm!
It's
Annihilation!
There!
Mega Ray! By the power of
Dragon Swarm!
Here's a healing art!
Try this! You picked the wrong fight! I owe you one! Dragon
Here
Swarm!
goes!
Being interrupted.
Explosive ring!
Gale Force! Raging
Dragon
Storm!
Swarm!
Not on my watch! Hear my call! Photon Flash! Hard Malevolent! Hurricane Lunar Fury! Burning now! I'll be saving
Anything
this
in
one!
armor is all mine!
Oh, violent guardian wind!
smash you!
Carve now through
Dragon
all!
Swarm!
Lunar Blade! Too much to handle? Dance
Heal
in
my
the
weary
wind!
companion.
Feel!
Sovereign wind!
More for the stockpile!
Rise it up!
Radiant Pierce! Will this help? Wind Astral and more with Healing!
Not now, not ever! Explosive
Oh,
ring!
violent guardian I'm almost impressed!
High praise coming from you.
I said almost. Don't get carried away.
Sovereign wind!
Render! Hear me!
Soaring coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
Will this help? Champion Swarm!
Dragon Swarm! The flame inside
That'll
me!
bring you
Yours.
down! It's about to strike!
Ha! Look sharp, everyone! Dragon Swarm!
Light Astral! Illuminate
No
the charge!
further!
Come forth! Holy Glimmer! Holy
Wind!
Land! Will this help?
Soda!
Ready and
No! Can't... And here!
Ready!
Dragon Swarm!
Not on my watch! Annihilation! Purge Celestial!
Explosive ring!
Rending you apart!
Waterfall!
Bloody
Dragon Swarm!
I'll be saving this one!
breath of life!
Lightning
Heal
Condemn!
my weary companion! See what I can do!
Thunderblade! Now
Cure!
you're mine!
Dragon Swarm!
Holy Land! By the power of water!
Explosive ring!
Hear me!
Dance on the wind!
Ready to go! Burning strike!
No! Can't end here!
I couldn't make it in time.
Shion, get toasty!
Burn strike! Now it's just her!
Faria! Can you hear me? Faria!
She's preparing another summoning!
The art she's casting is way too powerful to control. At this rate, her body won't be able to take much more. Dohalim!
Forgive me.
Man, I thought we were goners.
Everything okay?
Yes. She's only unconscious.
Not her. I meant you.
Shion, please. Can you treat her?
I can try, but I can't promise she'll be back to her real self when she wakes up. All I can do is heal her physically.
We're not even supposed to be in here. Maybe it'd be better if we moved her to somewhere a little safer. Don't you think?
In that case...
I'll take her off your hands.
You? Avakir, what are you doing here?
I was curious what you were up to, so I took the liberty of following you to find out. I overheard what you said about Tarnigan, about how he really died. I'm sorry, I had no idea.
And you believed me? What makes you so sure I wasn't lying?
I like to think I know you a little better than that. Give me some credit. I'll take Faria. Leave her with me. I know better than to ask what you're up to. But whatever it is, I hope it all works out.
Thank you.
He seems like a good friend.
He hasn't changed. He never was one to stand out. Instead, he was always hanging back, worrying about everyone else. As for Faria, it's always the closest to me who get hurt.
You don't seriously blame yourself for what happened to her, do you?
Somebody got to her, to strike back at me. Someone who knew me well enough to know that I'd hesitate to fight back. And the same goes for you as well. Neither you nor Faria would have lost loved ones, if it wasn't for me.
You're wrong. Kelzelik was the one who killed my brother, under orders from Almadria. As for Tarnigan, if it weren't for the crown contest, he'd still be alive. That and the whole damn hierarchy that makes it possible. But that's why we're fighting. To put an end to this whole messed up system that treats people as expendable.
Indeed. Ridding society of this blight is really the only way I know how to atone for my sins.
You can't atone, Dohalim. I know it hurts to hear, but those people are dead. No amount of soul-searching or trying to make amends is going to change that. Forgiveness, acceptance, those ships have sailed.
So I just forget the harm I caused?
No, the opposite, in fact. You remember. You never forget. You keep it in your heart always. And then you go on living. Not for those already past, but for those still alive.
For those still alive.
Kisara's right. So long as we've still got breath in our bodies, we can make a difference in the lives of others. Lives being the operative word.
That's what living's all about. Being able to still make a difference. Punishing yourself for the past won't make the pain of your conscience go away.
Only fixing the problem in its stead. Is that what you're saying?
That's right. You have to live for tomorrow, Dohalim, not for yesterday. And not only that, you need to live for yourself, and for the change that you still can be.
I shall try.
Don't forget, we've still got a mystery to solve. The Forbidden Zone, remember?
Shion.
Huh?
Thank you. You have my deepest gratitude for what you did for Faria.
Glad to be of service.
I'm glad we could stop Faria without hurting her.
You all did much for her as well. I'm most grateful.
Oh, shucks. We're on the same...
Do you think Faria was really being controlled by someone?
Certainly seemed that way. The question is, who? The Red Woman?
The same person who's behind all of this, I'll bet. Whoever that is.
Brainwashed or otherwise, the feelings of resentment she holds towards me are real.
Someone used her because they knew we'd hold back. If that's not playing dirty, I don't know what is.
It does tell us one thing at least. Someone here in Lenegis is watching us. Someone who means us harm.
There's no question. That attack was meant for us alone.
By someone capable of getting inside a person and manipulating them like a weapon. We need to find whoever it is, fast.
Hang on a minute, guys. Just gonna do something real quick. All right. So, I was gonna end the stream there, but it looks like another cutscene is coming.
What is it, Rinwell? Do you hear something again?
Yeah. It's that voice.
The will of Dana's astral energy.
Like we're getting another cutscene.
What? There's so much astral energy. But where's it all coming from? It's almost like it's alive.
Alright, I'll be right back.
That was the spirit channeling ceremony just now. No, it was more than that.
What the hell was that? It felt like everything was on the brink of... like the whole world was seconds from...
Oblivion. It's the same vision as the one my thorns show me. A vision of impenetrable darkness that swallows up us and everything else.
An empty void. A nothing so complete and dominating that there aren't even words to describe it. The end of time.
The visions of the apocalypse you've been seeing. If I'd known how bad they were,
So, everything we just saw, those were Naori's memories, right?
That's right. It was as if her innermost thoughts were speaking directly to us. At least I know they weren't mine.
That power flowing into her. It reminds me of Shion's thorns. If they're what's responsible for all these visions she's been having, then maybe...
Maybe my thorns are made from that same astral energy?
If that is the case, we just found the missing link between your thorns and what happened here 3 centuries ago. No, more than a link. Perhaps even the very heart of the matter.
I've never felt astral energy so powerful. What was that?
If it's the same energy your thorns are made of, it must be dark astral energy, right? And isn't that something only Renans have?
Correct. Dark astral energy is possessed by Renans alone.
And when enough astral energy gathers together, it develops its own form of sentience. If so, maybe that complete oblivion is exactly what the Renan astral energy's will is wishing for. But why?
I don't know. Will can be a pretty vague thing to nail down. It's more of a feeling, just like the will of Dana.
But the will of Dana is made up of astral energy too, right? And if that's what's been showing us these visions... I don't know, should we really be getting so involved with this thing?
Dana's will would never want oblivion.
But you can't say that for sure.
Cut it out, you two. Squabbling over theories will get us nowhere.
Let's keep moving. If it's Dana's will showing us these memories, then I'm as clueless about its motives as any one of us. But if it could lead us to the truth, then I want to find out more.
Shion's right. All we can do is keep going. If these really are Naori's memories we're watching, there could be truths in them I was never aware of. And I think they may be the kinds of truths I need to confront if we're going to keep fighting.
I'm sorry about what I said earlier. Come on, let's go.
Finally.
That vision we saw. It was as if it was meant specifically for us.
What do you make of it? Do you still think the will of Dana might be involved somehow?
Maybe it's trying to tell us something. But what?
Well, it could be supernatural. You know, like seeing dead people, messages from beyond the grave, ghost-type stuff.
That's your grand theory? That we're being haunted? Come on, Law.
Wait. He might be closer to the mark than you think. What if a person's thoughts and deeds were to somehow become indelibly etched into the ether of a place? And what if those with a connection could then somehow pick up on them?
You think that's what it was? Some kind of message someone left here for us?
I am merely entertaining the possibility. Whether it was Dana's will, or somehow connected to the Sovereign and Maiden's powers, I do not know.
Okay, back up a sec. You're saying that if a place is full of enough astral energy, it can somehow show us events that happened centuries ago?
More to the point, how does that much astral energy gather in one place anyway? Seems unlikely it happened naturally.
Whatever it was, it survived here intact for 300 years. Whoever left it for us, the strength of their intent is beyond doubt.
The strength of their intent?
All right, so, really?
Soon, we might very well learn the truth behind Shion's thorns. As well as my own past, I have to be ready to face anything. But whatever happens, Shion
Right. So, that is gonna do it, guys, for this episode. Now, I will see you guys again tomorrow for another episode of, of God of War 3. And Wolfenstein Youngblood. And as well, I'll be bringing you guys a bit of a charity stream of sorts in honor of my cousin who we lost last year on Veterans Day. I will talk more about that tomorrow. But yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. As always, though, remember, stay safe, stay dangerous. Love you guys. Later.